Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new collection package. Anubis has been released today on Counter-Strike. I was about to head to bed, and then the tweet came out, so I thought I'd give it a check. As ever, we're going to go through the skins of first impressions, or raw first impressions. I haven't seen any of these. I have bought myself one as well, so we'll open it at the end of the video. But let's go through these. So obviously this is gonna, I assume, be available at the next major, which is just a couple of weeks around the corner. Anubis is likely going to get quite a bit of game time, I'd imagine, quite a bit of play. And so let's have a quick look at what we're looking at. R8 revolver inlay. So nice amount of detail. I love engraved skins. You guys will know this if you've watched a lot of these videos in the past. I've done a lot of these videos. I'm always a big sucker for engraved skins. The R8, though, not going to get played much, so I'm not really that interested, but I quite like this. And obviously, this is going to be one of the very rare skins, because the difference between the collections and obviously your normal cases is that the normal cases start at dark blue color, whereas these start at like gray, and then it gets a slightly sort of darker gray, and then you'll get into like the blues. So this is going to be quite a common skin that you're probably going to get out of the collection packages. So considering that, really not a bad skin at all. I do like it, just it's for the R8. M249, kind of similar vibe to this one. The skin's fine. I mean, it's very serviceable. I do at least like that if you compare these skins to a few years ago and some of the collection skins, some of the grey ones honestly had horrendous amounts of paint missing. They looked really, really dodgy in terms of the actual final finish and product on them. So at least these are pretty clean and pretty clear as well. There are some missing bits of paint around the magazine and the backside here. I'm noticing a few different places where there's a bit of missing paint, but that'd be very nitpicky. The problem is it's an M249. However, it's not bad at all. It's not too shabby. I don't hate it, let's put it that way. And I'd rather the M249s and those kind of weapons are in the earlier skins as opposed to the pinks and the purples and obviously the reds later on. XM hieroglyph. There's a lot of detail on this. You can see the hieroglyphics on the actual gun itself here. That is actually very detailed. It's kind of engraved look to it. It does fit the Anubis theme. Obviously, looking at sort of like Egyptian, olden times, and so you're going to expect a lot of skins that are going to match that kind of pattern and that kind of look. I'm not really blown away by this. I do like the engravings. I don't like the color scheme though, like the blue and the orange and the brownish kind of color. It's a gray though, so it's completely fine. I'm going to breeze through these ones pretty fast. MP7 Sunbaked. You know, this reminds me a bit of a laminate kind of skin. It has that kind of vibe to it. It almost looks like it's it has wood here. I think the whole thing is supposed to be like a sunbaked wooden MP7. I really don't mind this at all, you know. Like if I played with the MP7, this wouldn't be a horrible skin. I could see this matching really well if you use like a rust coat knife and you go for like sand dunes and all that kind of stuff. I really do think that this would match pretty nicely, so I don't mind this. And as a grey, yeah. Or a light blue. You know, I'm saying grey because that's what's coming off the top of my head, but it is more of like a light blue or light cyan color. Regardless, though, I do quite like this. Not bad. Not bad at all. You have the Org Snake Pit. Now, this for me shows how far some of the skins have come, which I know sounds like a strange thing because a lot of people look at this and not necessarily love it. But I can envisage a few skins that have this kind of detail on them and they'd have looked abysmally bad. It would have looked like it was from the 1980s or 1990s, you know? This actually does have quite a bit of detail and there's not that much missing skins, missing paint on it. Problem is though, it runs into the same issue that a lot of AUG skins do, where like half of the gun is untouched by this skin and half of it does. It's also, in my mind, not necessarily the color scheme that I would be looking at personally. Then again, I don't even use the AUG, so it's really not bad again. Like, none of these light blue-gray skins, I would say, have been bad. None of them have been. They've been perfectly fine, and that's really what you're looking at for skins that are, like, lower down on the totem pole. So, not bad at all. Okay, we have an M4A1S. It's called Mud Spec, and this is in the sort of lighter blue now. We're getting a bit darker in terms of going down the list, so this is going to be a little bit less common. I tell you what, that is a pretty clean looking skin, I've got to admit. and I'd imagine quite a few people are probably going to pick this one up. I was expecting this to look horrible. This actually looks really quite nice. Again, if you're going for like a darker theme on your inventory, maybe you've got some of like the brown beige colored gloves, a rust coat, or maybe even a vanilla on some of these knives, and you have like a darker colored theme, I honestly think this M4A1S is pretty damn solid. It's really not bad at all. And it probably won't be that expensive, all things considered. It's got a lot of detail on it. Like, this is just a good skin, man. Like, this is a really good skin. Some people may not like the color scheme. I quite like the color scheme. I think it looks super clean. And I really like this skin. I've got to say, the more I look at it, the more it's growing on me. I don't necessarily love the writing on it. I wish it was without the writing, but I mean, you can't really argue with that as a fairly low down on the totem pole skin for an M4A1S, and it's just it's a big W as far as I'm concerned. So far this case has been pretty good. However, as per usual, it's when you get in towards the business end where the skins really count. So we got the SSG Azure Glyph. It's got a lot of detail on it. I like the color scheme as well. This is actually pretty solid. Looks nice and clean. A lot of the SSG doesn't have any skin on it though, which I'm always a little bit unsure over. But I think that it definitely matches the theme of like the Anubis kind of collection idea, and ultimately looks pretty decent. So not bad at all. We got a USP Desert Tactical. Okay. So the thing that's instantly stood out to me is the fact that the trigger is red and everything else is sort of beige or black or dark colored. It's a clean skin though. Like, there's no missing paint on this at all. Normally the places in the USP you're looking at for missing paint is around this part of the gun where the silencer attaches to the barrel, up here at the back of the gun as well, just behind the hammer. Like, there's a lot of missing paint normally in USP. That is clean. That is a very clean looking skin, and that's probably going to be a very affordable clean looking skin. And it also matches very well, and I do appreciate that, it matches very well with that M4A1S that we just looked at. Like, you could run the M4A1S and you could run this together, and they'd actually match really well. You've even got the writing on it. I'd imagine that's by design. That's basically the idea behind this skin. So solid again. A nice W. I would not mind if I got this at all. Honestly, if I got this out of my case that'll open at the end of this, I'd probably use it. Quite like this. It's not bad at all. It's growing on me. Next is Mac 10 Echoing Sands. So you got a beetle at the back. Very Egyptian themed. That is a skin that is very strange to me because I almost thought it was going to glisten, and I turned it and it does a bit, but not as much as I was expecting. I think it's clean. I think it's a clean skin. There's a lot of detail in terms of the patterns on it. Obviously, you got the beetle at the back, which you're going to be able to see fairly comfortably in game. Looks very, very clean. It's going to match again with a lot of skins. It's also going to match with some different ones as well, some brighter looking skins, because this is a brighter sort of sand beige color. And you're still in the blues, but not quite the next level of blue. So this is going to be another fairly common skin that's going to be quite affordable. Again, it's good. It's a good skin. I like this. So far, I've got to say, so far this collection has been pretty damn good. It's been on point. Right, now we're getting into the dark blues. This is where things should pick up quite a bit. And we've got Mummy's Rot on the Tech 9. Let's have a look. Oh, I tell you what. That's a big time W. Oh my goodness. The detail, the colors. The theme of this skin. Oh, this is a banger. Oh, I'm gonna have to get myself this. Oh, wow. Now, the thing is, coming into this collection, I'll be honest, I've never found the sort of Egyptian theme that interesting in terms of the theme of it or how it looks. It's never really appealed to me that much, but I've got to say, this looks fantastic. I really, really like this skin a lot. I love the green. It actually fits as far as I'm concerned. You've kind of got that, you know, if you've seen the Mummy, Brendan Fraser, who's making a comeback now, thankfully, with like the whale and stuff. His original Mummy movies were fantastic. I think they were late 90s, early 2000 movies. I remember watching them when I was very young, and great films. And this has that kind of vibe to it, in my opinion. which probably is also mentioned in the actual skin's name itself. But yeah, I like this skin a lot. This is the first big W that I'm going to need to pick this one up. I'm definitely going to pick up this Tech 9. Very, very nice. We have an AK down in dark blue, and it's called Steel Delta. Huh. Oh, this is a strange one. I'm not sure what to make of this, you know, guys. I feel like this is going to be one of those kind of skins I'm going to need to go into the game and have a look and run around with it when the sun hits it and things. What I will say is, I do love the wooden laminate kind of feel on the gun. I do like how simple it is, but it's this middle part here I'm not sure about, because when you turn it, it reflects and it kind of shines and glistens, but it reminds me a bit of Damascus steel knives. You know, it gives me that same kind of vibe as a Damascus steel, and I'm not a fan of the Damascus steel knives. However, does it work better on the AK? I'm not sure. I'm really down the middle on this. Now, I feel like it's probably because it's an AK-47 and you have a certain expectation, you know. I feel like in cases you're looking at AKs, M4s, AWPs, Deagles, USPs, Glocks are the ones that I'm mainly looking at to be the bangers. And I don't know if I like this. I'm gonna have to come back to this later on. I have to see this in game, I think, to really judge if I like it or not. I'm on the fence. Next is the AWP Black Nile. Oh, mate. Oh, this is an absolute banger skin. I love this so much. It's so simple, but it looks so good. Even the highlights, like this sort of silverish beige feel on the end of the scope, the end of the barrel, the tripod, the trigger. Oh, this is a fantastic skin. I would definitely use this as my AWP. I'm not an AWPer, but I would definitely pick this up and use it. And this is dark blue. I've got to say, so far this collection has been fantastic. Fantastic. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of the AK, maybe if I see that in game, it's incredible and I change my mind, but like, oof, this AWP is a thing of beauty. I love this. It's got everything I'm looking for. Engravings on it, very dark themes, nice highlights. It's not too complicated. Oh, fantastic. Very, very good. Next is, that's going to take some beating, by the way. I think that'll probably be the best skin in this case, but we'll see. Next is Mag 7 Copper Coated. This is pretty nice as well, man. Like, tons of detail. I like the idea of it. I like the theme of it. No missing paint whatsoever. This is a very, very clean skin. And it's just looking super, super good. I think I'll probably end up picking this Mag 7 up as well. Been blown away by this case so far. Okay, and we're moving into the purples. We've got Ramsey's Reach. Let's have a look. It's a Glock. Wow. Oh, wow. So you've got like a desert. You've got the pyramids in the background. You've got the eye on the side of the gun. Loads and loads of detail. I'd imagine, by the way, in CS2, I'd imagine this looks amazing. With the glisten and everything. Now, it's not necessarily what I would be looking for personally on my Glock, but I will say I do really like this skin as well. It just wouldn't fit with the theme that I have. I've got quite a dark theme on my, like, dark blue, black kind of colors. Like, for example, my AK is the AK Slate, because I think that's fantastic, so it wouldn't fit, but this is like a really solid skin. I don't think you go too far wrong with this. I'd imagine a lot of people will really like this one. Problem is, your hand's going to be covering a lot of the detail, especially on the grip, unless you start inspecting, so that's maybe a bit of a downside, but that's a really solid skin. This collection's been a banger. Alright, we've got a Nova, and then we've got a P90, so this is where it may drop down a little bit, but let's have a look. Sobex Bite. Oh, that's very, very pretty, isn't it? That's a very pretty skin. I like the feathery sort of thing at the back. Tons of detail around the rest of the skin. This looks amazing as well. The barrel's really good. I don't like the color scheme. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I said, like, the Egyptian sort of, like, theme and colors, like, never really resonated with me. I don't like the blues and the, the greens and the reds together. It's for a Nova as well, so personally this would be a skip for me. But that being said, even though it would be a skip for me, I'd say it knowing that the skin, I think, is actually very, very well worked, and clearly a lot of time and effort has gone into this. P90 Scarab Brush. I said Beetle earlier, didn't I? It was a Scarab. Yeah, this is kind of a similar sort of vibe as the last skin. And it's for the P90. So, I mean, the pros for this are the skin looks very, very well finished in terms of the levels of detail that's on this. Like, there's quite a bit going on, but at the same time, it's not overboard. Like, you got parts of the skin that are very plain and very, like, you know, straightforward, which I do like as well. This sort of scarab, almost like it's underneath the skin. Again, going back to the Mummy movies, if you've seen those. Or you could say, like, underneath the sand as well. I do like that. It does look cool, but it's for a P90, and again, the color scheme doesn't really match very well with me personally, so this would be a skip for me. But once again, I find myself saying the same as with the Nova. It's not because I think the skin is bad. It's just not for me. But another really good effort. We got FAMAS. Waters of Nethys, I guess. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I probably pronounced that wrong. Ooh. Oh, that changes as well. Oh, hello. So you've almost got, like, this would fit very well, I would say, with like an emerald or a sapphire if you're loaded and you have those knives. I think you're probably going to be looking at this. Looks very, very clean, very smart. I almost feel like, does this skin change? Is it like one of those kind of skins that will change the pattern a little bit, where the almost like green elements of it will be in the middle of the FAMAS or on the right-hand side of the FAMAS rather than blue? You see what I mean? Like, it's greener over on this side and it's blue over this side. I wonder if this is one of those skins where you can get different patterns and it will look different. That could be really, really cool. This is a banger. I like this a lot. I love the idea of it moving when you hit certain patterns or like certain lights. If you inspect this, it's going to also change. This will also look amazing in CS2, I'd imagine. And for a pink, FAMAS, very clean as well, by the way. The FAMAS typically is one of those weapons that really struggles with having a ton of paint missing on it. All over this part of the skin, like, it's just all over the place, like on the handle, the trigger, everything. So to have a super clean and good looking FAMAS is a huge win. That's a really good skin. It's a really good skin. A Pep's Curse with the P250. So again, this reminds me a lot of the Nova skin with the red and the greens. And I would imagine if you are into the Egyptian theme, if you're into like ancient Egyptian history or any of that kind of stuff, like, you're going to absolutely love this skin. This is going to be right up your alley. Got like a snake thing going on here. You got the scarab on the side. Loads of detail. Oh, the back looks different as well. You got an eye there. Almost looks like a reptile's eye or something. This is tons and tons of detail on it, but I can't enjoy the color scheme personally. It would be too much of an eyesore for me while playing. But objectively, I think it's still a good skin, just not one that I'd pick up myself. It's quite amazing that in this collection there hasn't been a single skin that I've thought has been really bad. Like, obviously the grey light blue skins, some of them were lower quality, but that's to be expected. They're there for fodder. They're there to be like lower tier skins. But past that point, everything has been, even if I don't personally like it myself, everything has been like pretty damn good. Right, Eye of Horus is our last skin. It's an M4A4. I can already tell the colors. I probably won't love this, but let's have a look. Wow. That is a beautiful skin. It is. It's really not for me, but that is a beautiful, beautiful skin. And I would imagine a lot of people will absolutely love this. It also looks super clean. The M4 typically has a lot of issues when it has comes to missing paint around the magazine, around the trigger, up here on the gun as well, even on the barrel of the gun, around the sight, the back sight. It typically has a lot of issues. This looks insanely clean, and like, obviously this may be factory new, and if you go down into minimal wear and field tested, maybe that's not going to be the case, but this is going to cost an arm and a leg, I reckon. This is going to be a very rare skin. It is red. I could see these selling for a lot of money, especially with CS2 coming up and the hype behind that. So this is going to be a skin that everyone wants to pick up, if nothing else, just to sell it off. But I've got to say, it is a very, very solid skin indeed. And this case overall is incredibly solid. There are so many wins in this. The M4 is very good. The USP is very good. The Mac 10's solid. Tech 9's fantastic. AK I'm still on the fence about. AWP is phenomenal. I think it's still the best skin in the case as far as I'm concerned. The Glock's good. The Mac 7's great. FAMAS is great. And the M4, if you hit that, then you're just laughing. So, well done, Valve. You've knocked this one out the park. Let's open mine and see what we get. We get the USP. We take those. I am very happy about that. Now, there is a bit of missing paint at the back, so let's have a look what condition we're looking at here. That's well worn. Wow. Well worn is that clean on a USP. You don't see that often at all. So that gives you an idea of what we're looking at in this case. I thought well worn would look horrendous, but it really doesn't look bad at all, and I'm going to use that USP. I'm happy about that. So anyway, what do you guys think of this collection? Comment below and let me know which of these skins is your favorite, and what would you rate this case overall? I'm going to give this case overall a solid 9 out of 10. I think this is really, really good. One of the best collections or cases I've seen in quite some time. Really, really impressed with it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.